Here's a point of interest. The Louisiana Purchase State Park. Let's see what this looks like.
Welcome to Arkansas. This park is about as low-key as you can get. Located at the end of Highway 362, a 37.5-acre parcel of wetlands.
So you'll pull in, it's about 2 miles from the main road, and there's just a little parking area. There's restrooms, but they're just porta toilets. And then you have to walk on this boardwalk to the marker. So,
the surrounding areas like traditional protected swampland, and a lot of it's been paved over, or farmland now. So this is just keeping the ecosystem, the swamp's unique qualities.
it's beautiful.
This is a rare sight, as most of these wetlands are gone. This boardwalk takes you nearly 1,000 feet into the Arkansas swamp, where wayside boards give histories and information.
This explains that it's a headwater swamp versus a backwater swamp.
Today, there is a lot of debris.
So I imagine that it's probably usually a little more kempt than this. Stacey's picking up sticks as we walk. We've driven from Kansas to Arkansas so far on our way back, and we have been in rain the entire time. So the entire Midwest seems to be in a deluge. One thing I notice as we walk along is a rustling of the wind in the trees. It's silent except for that.
This state park is the initial point from which the lands were surveyed following the Louisiana Purchase of 1803, the event that opened up the American West. April 30th, 1803, negotiators for the U.S. and the First French Empire signed the agreement, and the U.S. acquired 830,000 square miles of land west of the Mississippi. President Jefferson then commissioned the Lewis and Clark expedition, which eventually reached the Pacific coast. President Monroe ordered a survey of the territory in 1815. Aside from the history, there is the wonderful atmosphere and beauty of the place itself. Here, you experience a beautiful isolation not commonly found today. The initial point was forgotten and rediscovered in 1921. The Daughters of the American Revolution began a campaign which led to this marker in 1926, which reads, "This stone marks the base established November 10, 1815, from which the lands of the Louisiana Purchase were surveyed by the United States Engineers. The first survey from this point was made to satisfy the claims of the soldiers of the War of 1812 with land bounties."
Stacey spotted it as we were driving down the road, and we thought it would be like many state parks where there's a visitor center and you get pamphlets and there's ranger. No, you just go down this 2-mile road and you are in the swamp, and it's really, like Stacey said, it's really magical. This is way better than what we thought it would be, because you can actually see what the land was like. Because what was one of the markers said, most of the land has been, swamps have been drained and the land has been turned into farmland, which is good, that's how we get our food. But it's nice that they preserved this area as it was then. Like where we saw the buffalo, that land had never been turned. So there are little snippets across our nation where it is still as it was then.
Okay, I just want to say that when you come to the Louisiana Purchase State Park, there is a boardwalk that leads you deep into the swamp. So you're in these like cypress trees and you're around the swampland, and it's a way to really get into it. You know, like I don't know how you would really be able to see all this without this boardwalk here, and it's really kind of elevated so you have a neat perspective, and it's definitely worth the trip. We were really glad to come here. It was this special hidden gem.
The culmination of this walk into the woods is this. In the middle of your screen, you are looking not at a history book, but at history itself. Before you is the baseline of the surveys that came from the Louisiana Purchase, pretty much as it looked in 1815. Now I'll step back so that you can enjoy the sights and sounds of this amazing place.